August 1st, 2025. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. And what are we going to talk about? Kansas City, Independence, Missouri. We're going to talk about crime. We're going to talk about drugs. We're going to talk about the homeless. And we're going to talk starting out with Independence today and Power and Light. Now, if anybody lives here in Independence and maybe got their electric bill, they might have noticed about, I don't know, a $200 jump. And it wasn't about the electricity. It was about the sewer. We're going to show that first. And then we're going to talk about the old bikers and the ones on the ATVs and mini bikes going up this morning at 4 a.m. here in Independence. Didn't see any police vehicles out around 4 a.m. because I went out after that and drove around for about an hour. I drove down Nolan Road, down 40 Highway, drove down out there by the tool shed out there, which at 4 a.m. was kind of unusual because there was 3 cars sitting there at the tool shed. You know, these bars, I used to go down to a place called Doc Holliday's, which is now called Asado's. And it was a 3 a.m. bar. And everybody had to be off the parking lot. All the cars had to be off the lot. Because they could actually, they could lose their liquor license for some reason. Basically, for if they had people still in those bars, if they were drunk, they could be in big trouble. Well, there's 3 vehicles sitting down there at a tool shed at 4 a.m., a little after 4 a.m. this morning. And it was dark, and I just thought, that's weird. But let's get started here with Independence, Power and Light. And I spent 2 days, the beginning of this week out there. I went out there 2 days. And finally, they say it's not going to be corrected anytime soon. Now, I'm going to show this here in a second here, my bill. It went from, the sewer went from about $57 to around $260 something here. Let's take a look at this quick. Okay, guys, so you see where this is electric and sewer. I'm going to move this over. Electric was about $120.77, which is, for, this time of year, about normal. But this, $244.26, whoa, with a fee added on to that, way out there. Now, hold on. This is the usual average, around $57.16. And then they had a deal, basically, they had reported that, it might, if you're on average, it wouldn't go up very much. It could go up maybe $10 maximum, 10 to 15 instead of 15 if if you used a lot of electricity, which we don't hardly use very much. But unbelievable. But we're going to talk about this for another reason too, because this isn't going to be, they said, be able to be fixed anytime soon. So hold on. All right, guys, I'm back. And what they told me was that they might not be able to get this done by next the billing cycle. So what I asked them, I said, can we just go back to the last year's? And I said, just go like that and then see where it goes, so we'll just, pay on that. Because last year's billing was higher on stuff over the months. And it's been a little bit lower. So I thought, well, then it wouldn't probably exceed that. And they said, oh, yeah, you can do that. So I paid like $200, but this was going to be like $360 something or 68 or something. Unreal. Now, how do for the sewer? But what I can't understand, I asked him, I said, can you guys calculate it out? Well, now, the thing of this is there's got to be a way they calculate how much water goes down the sewer. And that's crazy. Now, I have Raytown Water. I'm on Independence sewer line. And so are a lot of other people. Now, if you want to check this stuff out, there's other ones that have posted on Facebook about this. And check it out, guys. If you get a big, huge bill from Independence, Power and Light. But it's not about the electric, it's about the sewer on that. And they're connected together. but they couldn't figure out how they could calculate it. That don't make sense to me. There's got to be a formula. There's got to be a way to calculate that. So let's get on to the next thing at 4 a.m. this morning. Hold on. Okay, guys, so what you're looking at is from one of my security cams at 4 a.m. this morning. Now, first, let's say a white pickup truck came up. And they run from ATVs, mini bikes, and motorcycles going up at 4 a.m. And some of these were, moving on. Some of them are doing 80, 90 miles an hour. They are moving. But let me go ahead and show you this real quick. So there's one of them. And they're loud. They don't have mufflers on them. And this was at 4 a.m. And then there was Harleys going up and down, like I say, at a high rate of speed. I'm going to show that too. But had one come, what kills me, some of this stuff tracks back to some of these areas here where that meth recovery place is in these people. And there's a house down there. It's by this meth recovery place where some of these guys are in. Come out with these motorcycles and mini bikes. There's a guy, it goes with this meth recovery place. It looks like a motorcycle, but it's more like a mini bike. I don't know what you actually would call it. And these things don't have no license plates. They shouldn't be on the road at all. But this is around 4 a.m. I wanted to show this. Now hold on. We're going to go to this one. So I get up, get out in the vehicle, go up top the hill. One comes out down there over by the meth recovery place down there. And that's what you're looking at here. And we're going to show that in a second. So this is at 4 a.m., guys. 4 a.m. And they're revving up and down East 47th Street South here in Independence, Missouri. Not a place to be. You don't want to move to Kansas City. Don't want to move to Independence because that's what's here. And we like showing this because, you don't want to spend your time, money, and effort to come into this city and town because, there's so much drugs and stuff going on here. It's not even funny. And they run out here to those other bars and stuff out here. They bring in cocaine. They bring in guns out there on 40 Highway. And, it's just a constant, just a continuous flow with these bikers and other good people out here and the homeless and all the rest. But don't worry, we're going to show some more here in Independence in Kansas City. All right, guys, so what you're looking at here is I went down 40 Highway. I turned around, this down by the tool shed. And I noticed all these vehicles. It's just a little after 4 a.m. And kind of strange. There's one right there. There's another vehicle on the other side of that one. And, like I say, down there at Doc Holliday's, they abided by the law, at least, in the sense of making sure everybody was off the property and everything so they didn't lose their liquor license or anything. But I guess some of us can get away with all that, huh? It's not fair to the other bars and businesses here. That's the thing. And then there's another vehicle right here too. Oh, is that a Jeep or something like that? Those bikers going up and down revving at 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't think, let's go back down here. I don't think Asado's. See, this used to be the old Doc Holliday's here, guys. Right here. But see, there ain't no vehicles there. There ain't no vehicles out in front. Now, what I understand, Tool Shed's in Independence. Doc Holliday's or Asado's is in Kansas City, Missouri. Definitely know that. Because I was in there, Doc Holliday's one night, and there was a fight, brawl. that broke out. This guy by the name of Weaver that was a bouncer. He got his teeth knocked out by this one guy, this skinny little boxer guy. There was a rivaling feud going between two different groups here. And that's what, basically the bouncer got in between. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But this police they had probably 8, 10 Kansas City, Missouri police cars here at this facility here. Interesting. So hold on, guys. We're not done yet. All right, guys. So let's go down here Nolan Road, this quick trip, because there's a lot of drugs, a lot of stuff is going on down here. Now, this is supposed to be a safe haven place, you know, where you can go if something's going on. I don't know about that. I didn't see one Independence police vehicle all down through here. Now, you'd think there would be one going up and down Nolan. Now, last night, went over there off 23rd in Nolan to eat. And Independence was getting call after call after call because we were sitting at the Taco Bell, seen 2 different Independence police vehicles make runs. And then on the way back, there was another one down here about 35th or 39th, one of the two, one of the intersections right there. Got another call that they went on. So Independence is getting a lot of calls though too. But what I found interesting is, you got to go through here and you got to just kind of see. And this backside, they had hookers back here and everything else. I wanted to see how clean it was. This wasn't too bad at a little after 4 a.m. this morning. And this side over here, where you see my cursor, there used to be a couple guys that used to sit in cars and deal drugs over here. Probably still do on and off. You just, the weekends here, so you never know. But these vehicles here, there's people sleeping in them. Now, these vehicles didn't look like they were traveling. It's not like somebody was traveling across the country. They stopped here and, these look like more like homeless. And the way to find this out is we'll save this and we'll see if these vehicles are there again. We'll see if they're still sitting here. But let me see if I can bring this, and I'll have to brighten it up more, but let's see here if I can. Yeah, it'll be blurred, but we'll be able to see the guy. Let's see. Hold on. Well, there you can see him right here a little bit. Let's see if I can bring this in. You can see where that's right there. I'm going to move my cursor down from there. But it's his head reflecting the reflection in there. Now, he's asleep. But then there's another one over here. It's also asleep. And these vehicles look like they were pretty full of stuff. I mean, if you're just, you know what I'm saying? If you're traveling, this ain't Wonder Hussy out there. It's traveling to the hot springs back and forth where she's got her camping gear. But her stuff's not even stuff like this. I mean, some of the stuff was, and this one over here was like stuff looked like to the roof. So it's another thing to understand if you did come in here, who are these people? I mean, do they have a record? Are they sitting there? There was a deal that just took place. I think it was in Minnesota. Hold on for just a second, guys. All right, guys. So what you're looking at says video shows teen restaurant worker trained in jiu-jitsu fight off this basically as a homeless person, kind of like. But this was in, let's see if I can get this to come up a little bit better. It was WCCO CBS, Minnesota. And when he fought this guy, now this is a young guy here. It looked like the other guy was an older guy. When he fought this guy bit him several times. And the guy, he didn't act like he had thought much about it. But what if this homeless guy had HIV? What if this guy was a drug user and say, for example, had like hepatitis? I mean, this guy ain't out of the woods. This young guy got bit here. I mean, he could be in big trouble. I mean, they need to be doing blood tests on this guy, and he'll probably have to take several. I mean, go back he might not care, but he might pay later on. Because, most of these people that are homeless and they're doing drugs, lots of them. And they could have hepatitis. They could have HIV. And this, like I say, this was just, how many hours ago this was when it was posted? 13 hours ago. 13 hours ago. Video shows teen restaurant worker trained in jiu-jitsu. You guys check it out. CBS News Minnesota. I mean, he fought the guy off and stuff, but man, he got chewed up. I don't know how good he fought him off, considering he got bit that many times. Not good. And it just puts out another deal here about these homeless people and how dangerous this can be. I wanted to show that this Independence Police vehicle, there was two that just had went, it would have been southbound on a call. And this one was going northbound, but this one wasn't on a call. But this is when we left Taco Bell yesterday afternoon. And I wanted, like I said, I wanted to make a point on this because those other two, they were moving on, going southbound here. Now, hold on. Okay, guys. So we get back down here, heading back to the house. And as you can see that there is where you see my cursor is another Independence Police vehicle. This one is going to go on another call. It's got lights are going to go on. Now watch this, guys. There he goes. So I wanted to show that. Independence is very active and busy on these calls out there too. All right, guys. So I pull up here at a 40 highway this morning, and there's this dirt biker going down here. Now, what kills me is, why should these people be allowed to be on these vehicles, whether it be ATV, mini bikes, dirt bikes, and they're not made for the road? They're not made for, they're not licensed. I mean, why are these laws not being enforced? Independence actually has a law that states that you're not even supposed to be out on the road or even in your backyard on a go-kart or a mini bike. How can they allow this to be on the street? Now, check this out, guys. I got this in slow-mo. Here comes this guy. Oh, man. I got, like I say, this is in slow motion here. Now, on top of it, you get down here, and what you can't see is there's a whole bunch of homeless people down here in the ditch, kind of like over in this area in this grass over here. I don't know if I caught it on my other cam, but I'm going to take a look here in a second. But I want you to see how fast this was. Let's see if I can go back and do this at a regular rate. I'm going to put this back at normal speed. And don't blink, guys, because if you blink, you probably will miss it. Let's see if we can do this. Here we go. That was pretty fast. He was right beside that car in that dirt bike with knobby tires on. Oh, yeah, buddy. All right, guys, so let's go on to the next thing. Get down here off 23rd and 291. I get this biker on my butt. We'll just put it nicely. And older guy, looked like he's about 50s. And, you know, it just amazes me. Now, not all bikers are bad. There's a lot of good bikers out there. I was in front of one this morning coming back here, too. I'll show, but the vehicle in front of him didn't have no license plates, but he wasn't doing nothing. But this guy, he come up on my butt, and he was right on the corner edge. I mean, just enough to where they could hit you, you know, or come up by your, you know, like say your side mirror and stuff. They like doing stuff like that. So I'm going to show you this frontal view first, but I'm going to show you before that how far behind he was behind me, what he was doing. And I pulled on behind the guy. And this guy, he goes on down. He goes on down, and he's moving on too after that. So this was a deliberate deal. This wasn't something. I mean, if he was just going down to 291, why didn't he just stay in the left lane in the first place? I'll prove that here in a minute. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to go on down. Let's see if I can speed this up a little bit more. It just makes you wonder, you know. Not all these bikers are good. They like seeing those drugs come in. They like seeing the drugs come in. Well, they get money. They get kickbacks. They get kickbacks on all this stuff. shoot, yeah, you know, you get extra couple hundred a month or more, or a lot more than that, depending on where you're at and what status that you're at. But hold on. All right, guys, so let's show this. This is down at Nolan and 23rd. I'm CB, what, eastbound. And here comes that biker. Here comes this old geezer. And he's right on there. He's trying to squeeze in between me and this other vehicle. And wonder why that'd be. Well, he's probably heading up towards Liberty or maybe Susquehanna. Well, he's heading up north because he turned. But I couldn't figure this. And this guy, he kept riding it. But, you know, like I say, you never know. And that's when he went around me. Now, hold on. We'll do this one more time because I want you guys to see this. And I just thought this was weird because if he's going to go up 291 anyway, he's going to have to go through these lights. I don't even worry, you know. But what I thought was weird is how, you know, he was right hanging back there. And they're just another vehicle. That are noisy, a lot of noise coming from Now hold on, guys. All right, guys, so this was that guy one last time. You can see he's got his left hand signal on here he's going to go on off to the left here. He's going to be heading north on 291. So I just thought that was kind of weird. But I go up to the parking lot up here and drop my son off for work. Coming back, and I'll show you this other bike. Hold on. Hey, guys. Hold on just a second. I was going to go back here. You see this Rapid Fire Arcade? Now, I don't think they're open like to 2 or 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., but like they are across from, Cosentino's Apple Mark up at here, where, you know, all the homeless and all the druggies and stuff are. But I think this was running on a more maybe legit deal here, you know. They actually got, you know, real arcade games from the 80s in there you can play. But I wanted to show that real quick. So I get ready to come back out here, and this guy, but this guy's not revving or nothing. He's got license plates. Look, he's got license plates on his vehicle, and he's got a signal on. Now, the truck in front of him has no license plates, has no temp tag. Well, it's Independence. But anyway, this ain't a big deal here. Well, now look. That's just normal biker driving along there. That's crazy. But now we don't know about this truck, guys. We don't know these things. You see, there is no license plate there, and it's just kind of got some kind of, I don't know, panel or something on it, and there's no temp tag on that vehicle either. But it's Independence. It's okay, right, guys? Here, hold on. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap this up pretty quick, but I want to go back to 40 Highway. And this is where some of the homeless was up here, kind of in that one kind of gully-like area or sidewalk area or whatever. And they were all standing there. There was actually 3 of them. You can't see that third one, but you can see that one. You can see that one right there, and I'm just going to play this in slow-mo. Hold on, guys. It's about as good as I can do on that. What was interesting, and I had a guy that pulled out behind at 7-Eleven, and this guy, he was just laughing. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on a second. All right, guys, I'm back. I found it. But I was going to show you real quick. You know, up here where the old 7-Eleven was here, basically, on this back side where you see that truck's got the hood up on it, this is where they deal a lot of the drugs and stuff. They used to have cars after cars, people exchanging drugs and stuff over there. Nothing changes here. I mean, it's a continuous cycle here in Kansas City, in Independence, Missouri. I want to show that. And the only thing you got to do is have a car, even if it's not broken down, and pop the hood or or lift it up on a jack and, and make it look like you're changing a tire, and you're in business here. I mean, nobody questions anything about any of it. So you can just get away with that as much as you want to. But let's go on from there and see, you want to pull up here. And this guy, what I was filming from basically that dirt bike that was going by, and that then I noticed those homeless were down on the other end. But this guy, I mean, it's just like, I mean, this is like drug heaven over here at this Conoco. I mean, man, I mean, they just, it's a good place. I mean, where they go in and out and stuff. Speed this up, guys. My time's about. Okay, there we go. So this guy here, black guy, and you just smile here from here. It's a Kia. And he's talking on his phone too. Yeah, well, I mean, nothing ever stops here, does it, guys? So you can use his teeth. There you go. Oh man, I didn't know if we could see it or not. See him smiling? Wow. It's just like those deals, where they had that riot, or those blacks attacked those white people and stuff. And, they don't care. There's a gentleman that's got a YouTube channel. He's a black gentleman. And he does a white and black. I forget what they call his YouTube channel. But he was talking about how, what they did there, the way they rioted, kind of like that from that bar and stuff and everything. And it's just like he said, white people don't want to really move in, black area. Black people don't want. He said he's black. He said, I don't want to move in a black area. Because just for that reason. Just for that reason. And in these areas, they think this is funny. But I wanted you guys to see that. I mean, I wish I could bring that in closer so you can see. But you can see his teeth. And it's just like, they want this chaos. They want this. They want the drugs to flow, man. This is independence. This is Kansas City. But then you got those other ones, supposedly other church going to say, oh, well, we're trying to stop. Well, maybe mama better get on these other boys here and tell them to stop doing all this stuff then, huh? Right? I don't know. Me and my friend, like I said, I went to school with this black gentleman. We went all the way through school together, and we get along really good. But he has no tolerance for some of this stuff like this either. It's just like, there's no class. There is no class with this. It's just like, I think that one other black gentleman is more animalistic. Like, it's just like they don't care. But anyway, I wanted to show this real quick. And I just thought this, because you got those dirt bikes going up and down. You got people moving drugs and stuff. And you want to see this here in Kansas City and Independence, Missouri. So hold on, guys. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap this up real quick. But crazy stuff. And I mean, are things better here in Kansas City or in Pittsburgh? Not really. They just keep on flowing. Without stopping the drugs, without, arresting some of these people that's, dealing it, moving it, and the higher ups, it's just going to keep going on. It's not going to stop. They have to get some of those people. They have to stop some of that. But some of this homeless stuff, too, they need to, like I say, they really need to get on it, too, because it's just, it's not good. And it brings a lot more bad stuff here. I noticed too this morning when I went out a little after 4 a.m. that there was lights that was lit back behind where O'Reilly's is. There's another building back there. It used to be like a grooming facility for like dogs and cats and stuff. And that's where I showed those other gals that were high and floating a few months back there that was hanging out there. Well, it looked like there was a whole bunch of them up there again this morning, a little after 4 a.m. Now, what's interesting, too, there was more vehicles that was setting up there. And I don't know. It didn't look good to me. just more stuff going on here. Anyway, this is Kansas City. This is Independence, Missouri. If you get that, you get your electric bill and it's, $200-300 more dollars, you might need to run out there and talk to them about that. Yeah, hopefully it'll get corrected here. I would think could be corrected in a few days. I wouldn't think it would take a month to correct. It seems like they'd have some way to figure, calculate it out. There's got to be some kind of calculation there. Anyway, keep your eyes open and stay safe out there.